Hi, it's Gigi, and today we are going to read Rosie Revere, Engineer. It is written by Andrea Beatty and illustrated by David Roberts. All right, let's begin. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Layla Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. Wow, here's a big class. Do you think you can pick out who Rosie is? And you see the teacher, Miss Greer? But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineer stash. Late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. All right, so Rosie might not have spoke much in class, but she was a busy little bee. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadget and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they'd never be seen. Wow, can you pick out all the gadgets and gizmos she had? She had a lot of things going on that she hid under her bed. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair, swooping over one eye, and made fine inventions for her uncles and aunts. A hot dog dispenser, and helium pants. Oh my, helium pants? Wouldn't that be fun? The uncle she loved most was zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head. From parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. Oh my, yes. I definitely want a hat that will keep the snakes away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud. But Fred slapped his knee and he chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then she looked away. "I loved it," Fred hooted. "Oh, truly I do." But Rosie Revere knew that that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day, she kept her dreams to herself. Why do you think she kept the dreams to herself after that day? What made Rosie so sad? And that's how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relations showed up for a stay. Her great-great-aunt Rose was a true dynamo who worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie's tales of things she had done and goals she had checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thrill left in my list is to fly. But the time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that up one day to an old lady's dream. So she built airplanes, but now she wants to fly herself. What do you think Rosie might do? That night, as Rosie laid wide-eyed in her bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, "No, not I." But questions are tricky and some hold on tight, and this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and the red streak lit the sky, a young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. She pondered and pondered all night long. She couldn't let go of that. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheese copter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Strapped in the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The Hello Cheese Copter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze for a hot heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Oh my. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned round to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, "Oh no, never, not ever again will I try to build something to sputter or spin, or build with a lever, a switch, or a gear, and never will I be a great engineer." How is Rosie feeling now? She turned round to leave, but then great-great-aunt Rose grabbed a hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. "You did it, hooray! It's the perfect first try. The great flop is over. It's time for the next." Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, and perplexed. "I failed," said dear Rosie. It's just made of trash. Don't you see it? The cheese copper crashed." "Yes," said her great aunt. "It crashed, that is true. But first it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew." Wow, so how do you think her great aunt was feeling? I bet she was proud of Rosie. "Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next." She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. Look at their drawings and their plans. And so she's ready to work. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her headscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. So now Rosie has a partner, her great Aunt Rose, and they're working so hard together. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. Look at all those great inventions. What do you think each one of them do? So I want you to go and start tinkering too. Build some gadgets and gizmos and things all around, and make sure that you show them to GiGi when she comes around. All right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.